Local SEO 2022. Today will be an Ask Anything session. We're going to try to cut it brief, around a half-hour mark, 45 minutes maybe. Really depends on you, the questions, anything that I can help you with. Feel free to go ahead and ask in the comments section. I'll go ahead and I'll pull that out. I'll answer your questions live, us together, and we will get through them. If you have any of those types of questions, anything at all, doesn't matter. All right, so we'll be able to see them on the screen here because we have the live chat functionality here. If there's anything SEO, local SEO, or Google Business Profile or Google Maps related, please. I'm here to help. My goal is to help. My objective tonight is to A, help you. B, I need to find a helpful solution. What I'm going to be doing personally is either setting up. I'm looking at maybe Zoho Desk or Zendesk is what I've narrowed it down to, because I want to be able to take everything from social media, Twitter, Facebook, the Facebook group, and my emails, the service emails, the intake forms. I want it to be all in a centralized dashboard. So I can have my VA, because I'm driving my VA nuts. I'm missing customers, my clients. At some point, you have to be able to have everything super organized, right? Or it becomes very overwhelming. So that's one of my personal goals. My aim is to make sure all my customers and anybody that I interact with is super happy. Because I don't want to shut it off. I don't want to shut off the emails, and I don't want to give like automated messages saying like, don't bother me or anything like that. Like that's not the angle I want. But I want to be able to get to, I don't want to shut off, because 2 out of 8, 10 say you get 10 emails, right? 2 of them are actual people that I really would like to talk to. But when you have those other 8, you don't reach those 2, right? So what I want to make sure of is that the 2 make it to me, right? They don't get just pushed to the side. So this is a problem internally that I want to nip in the bud. But so that's my problem. If anybody has a solution like, hey, is Zendesk the best? Is Zoho really good? Please go ahead and put that in the chat. But on the reverse note, if you have anything that I can help you with that's SEO, local SEO, Google Maps, Google Business Profile. It could be just SEO related, technical SEO, local SEO, affiliate SEO, anything that's in this wheel well. If it's e-commerce, I'm not your guy. If it's mass level, enterprise level SEO, I'm not your guy. If it's affiliate, local, technical, anything like that, I'm your dude. So let's go ahead and welcome the people that are giving us some time tonight. So Purpose Mind Marketing, good to see you. Thomas the Train Toys and More, great to see you. And Jasper Brown, excellent to see you. The first person is, hello, Chris. Alfredo here. Hello, Alfredo. Thomas the Train Toys, when posting a photo, what is the best thing to do for adding a description? When posting a photo to Google Business, what's the best thing to do? Or maybe a Reddit post, or inside of your website, maybe you're doing WordPress or something along these lines. Obviously, or maybe it's just alt text, or if it's just the title itself, we want to make sure that we're describing, but also getting a partial or the exact keyword inside of there. If it's an actual description, generally I'm just copying and pasting what I utilized for the alt text and the title. So alt text and title are much like the title in the H1. We want to make sure they're generally going to be the same. And then I generally just replicate that one more time into the actual description. PJB, you're on my list. As soon as I get done here, I have about 4 people I need to take care of, so no problem there. Thomas the Train, GMB. Oh, so GMB is a little bit different, right? So if you're creating imagery to upload, So let's use one of these as an example. I'll go into my personal, so that way there's no question. So let's say it is photos, right? So when I'm uploading an image, right, I upload the image. Let's say it's this image, or maybe it's this image, or this image. When I upload the image, the only thing I'm really focused on for GMB is the actual title, not necessarily the description itself. So I'm mostly interested inside of the title, because we know that Google is going to be stripping out a lot of that data. So I make sure that the title contains a keyword, and also it's going to contain a descriptive text. So that's going to be the best recommendation for that. We'll move on to the next person here. Yo Boss, back to you, my friend. Justin Bitcoin. If you guys have any questions related to anything at all, feel free to go ahead and ask. How many GMBs can you verify with only one mobile number? So, the verification, actual verification process, you might want to limit the amount. However, if you're utilizing one centralized number in order to, say you're verifying, right? You can verify generally about 10 of them. However, you can house a lot more Google Business Profile assets under one number. Generally, if say we're doing like a lead generation campaign, generally what we'll do is we'll get like an 877 or an 888 number, okay? And we'll utilize that. And what that's doing is it's going to go to the representatives that answer the phone. But we'll use that across 25, 30 assets, all right? So the same goes with the verification. Generally, what we're doing is we're utilizing a SIM card or a different phone number, wherever you get that, for verification. We'll generally do 5 to 10 maximum with that particular number, and then we'll transfer it over to an actual number that we control that we want to utilize, right? So if you're using a service, or like, I don't know, not that I use Twilio, but like a Twilio type account, in order to get a number and a verification, and then you want to transfer it, that's up to you. All right, so hopefully that helps you out. But you can go unlimited as long as you can answer that phone call. As long as when Mountain View calls, you're answering that number. Because you will get a call from our good friends at Mountain View, and I'll show you what the number looks like. It looks something like... it looks just like this number right here. You'll see it in red right here. See this Mountain View? Right here. See that Mountain View number there? You want to make sure you answer that. Mountain View, 650-694-9709. That's the number. They will call. All right, so let's keep going down the list. Joe, hey Chris, how are you? I'm doing great, Joe. Good to hear from you. Jasper Brown says, thanks, Chris. My pleasure. Wade Murray, good to see ya. Any new opinions about Shine Ranker? I don't have any new opinions. No, I haven't looked at it since the previous update, when I talked with Chase and he said to go ahead and try it out and play around with it. It was still under development, so I'm sure it's moving along quite well. Justin Bitcoin says, thank you, Chris. My pleasure, Justin. Carlos J, good to see you. Carlos says, Chris, can you do my business? I've missed our appointment. Carlos, if you've missed, can you do my business? I missed our appointment. Well, did we, let's take a look here. Real quick here, let me just take a look at something brief. Carlos. So I have a Miguel that I am supposed to talk to soon. Carlos, we could talk to each other. I don't see you on my list, But we could talk now. I don't see on the list. Happy New Year to you, Sign Commander. Good to see you. Carlos, whatever the problem is, I have no problem. As long as you could fit it into this half-hour window or 40-minute window, I'll be happy to help you out. So let me know what your problem is, and we will go ahead and take it from there. Yaniv, hey, good to see you, Yaniv. Sign Commander, great to see you, and Happy New Year to you as well, my friend. Yaniv says, hey, Chris, how important are PBNs in ranking local? Okay, so are they overkill or needed in competitive niches? And if so, how many? Should we point them to homepage or to location pages? So there's multiple questions here. So let's take them one at a time. Okay, so the very first thing is, how important are PBNs for ranking local? So let's just take away the P and the N, right? And how effective are websites for ranking, getting links from websites? And the answer is pretty important, very important, a matter of fact, especially for Google. Now, there's other search engines where, simply by optimizing properly and getting these pages indexed and getting traffic to the pages, we're seeing great success on Bing, most notably. So with that being said, getting links is important. Now, is buying $100 guest posts for a lot of local niches that are in non-competitive cities, is that overkill? Well, we know that it's not a quantity game, it's a quality game, right? So if I can go out and buy 1 or 2 high quality guest post PBN links to reach my finish goal, instead of buying 20 press release packages, which one would I want to do? I'd rather build 1 or 2 high authoritative links. All right. So moving into the next section of your question, and if so, how many? So how many is until you rank, right? So we generally will build the strongest, we're going to take care of our foundation links, our branded Web 2s, our press release for, getting some awards for the business owner. We're going to take care of our citations, our paid citations, right? We're going to take care of our foundation. And then as far as the potent links for our inner pages, for our service pages, for our homepage, we're going to keep building those on a monthly recurring basis, generally on a bi-weekly basis, until the site ranks. We'll retweak, re-optimize the content, and we'll consistently keep building links. So how many is determined. We set the baseline by the top competitor. So we look at the top competition. How many referring domains do they have that have an authority score 35 or greater? There's your baseline. We want to start building, not all at once, but maybe 2 or 3 at a time on a bi-weekly basis until the site ranks. Now, as far as the last portion or the last piece of the question is, do I build them to the homepage or inner pages or both? And the answer is both. So if you want to rank a page, we need to have the keyword on the page, we need to optimize the page, we need to make sure the page is technically sound, and we need to make sure that we have links going to that page. Not every SERP is going to call for it, but a lot of times, everything you did for that homepage to win in your area for your brand and for your primary keywords, that's what we have to do for these other pages. All right. So it's one page, one idea, one SERP, and every single keyword, every SERP takes its own session of SEO, right? So I hope that breaks it down. I broke it down and answer each of those questions. So hopefully that helps you out, my friend. Hey, I got 2, maybe 3 GMBs for you. Awesome. I look forward to it. Get with me, my friend. Book a time. For you, John, go in and book a client consultation there. It's a 15 minutes free. Book it. I'll talk to you. Just make sure you write Sign Commander, right? John, Sign Commander. So I don't just cancel the appointment, all right? Moving down the list here, Joe Glenn. So when doing GMB embeds on your own site, should I insert keywords both as anchor text and within the keyword section of the frame, or just one or the other? So I don't necessarily, I think I wouldn't focus necessarily on just keywords. I'd focus more specifically on words that are considered the entity of the overall keyword that we're trying to rank for. So in the past, before I started really pinpointing and testing these things, I would stuff in multiple keywords, right? After really taking the time to look at these things, like, yeah, that gets a result. Don't get me wrong. But for a better result and to be better optimized, what I would look forward to doing is figuring out which entities are the most associated with the primary keyword and focusing on getting those into the frame, those into the anchor text. That's where you're going to see a lot more success over the long term. All right. So moving down the list, Matthew, good to see you. Thank you for joining. Hi, Chris. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you, Matthew. Matthew says, what anchor text ratios would you use to power up guest posts using SEO Autopilot tiered blogs? Would 40% URL, 60% partial be a good place to start? So I think in my opinion, when we're talking about building links to the tier, I actually really like to focus on exact. So either exact or a partial with brand. I'm a lot more liberal, or not liberal. That's not the word I'm looking for. The word I'm looking for is I'm a lot more, I'm trying to think of the word, like on the website, I'd like to mix and match and have primarily focus on branded and longer anchor texts that are going to encompass a lot of different keywords. Now, when I'm talking about my tier links, probably going to focus more on getting keywords into the anchor text. So whatever you choose is up to you, but I'd probably be more focused on actually getting the keyword into the anchor text for my tiered links. So hopefully that helps you out. Carlos, I'm a business owner. I want to do local SEO. I attach the details, invitation. January 7th at 6:25, 6:15 to 6:25. So Carlos, yeah, Carlos, if you would like, the best thing to do, if you want to have a chat, right? If you and I are gonna chat, is come into here, right? So go to here. I'll put it inside the chat, but come inside of here, Carlos, okay? Because I do remember us speaking, and what you should do, and what I would like you to do, is come in here and grab this one down here. See this client reporting 15 minutes reschedule? See this one down at the very bottom? Or you could choose this one. Any of the ones that say reschedule, okay? But most notably this one right here, client reporting. Make sure you put Carlos. We spoke during the live. We had an appointment. We weren't able to get together. So go to this address right here. I put it in there and grab that time because I remember seeing our session there. Okay, so I look forward to talking to you. Spartan Pest Control says hello. Hello to you, Spartan Pest Control. Good to see you. Yaniv says thank you for that. Do you prefer buying guest posts on other sites or buying expired domains that you control for a PBN? I do both. Building, maintaining, and managing a portfolio is not for everybody, right? And just simply buying domains and 301ing them is it's hit or miss. We really need to get these up and running and get all of the links back in the forward-facing index and really see what type of power the sites can generate, right? So it's not for everybody, but I personally do both. All right, so I do buy them, and I also buy domains and let them age. All right, so that would probably be the best recommendation for you as well, right? If you don't mind managing, and don't be fooled. Like, you can get a lot of power out of 10 or 15 sites. I know a lot of business owners that have 5 sites that they utilize that had 5 to 1,000 referring domains. They set them up, they consistently post to them, it's just spun content, and they utilize them just to power their websites. And they do phenomenally well. So, like little mini nets for yourself. So, this is definitely something that you can do as well. All right. It might be hard to manage 20 sites, but I'm sure you can manage 5, right? All right. So, and on top of that, what I would also do if you're going to build yourself a little mini network is grab a reseller host that allows you the ability to purchase on a monthly recurring basis your own IPv4 address, your own IPv4 IP, right? So you have the reseller account, the hosting, so we can host them, but then you give an address, each of them their own IP, each of the sites. So this way it's not very it doesn't hurt your pockets that much, right? If you want to do it cheap on a budget and do it well, that's generally what we do. So that is what we do. So there you go. Joe Glenn says, thanks, I appreciate the advice. My pleasure. Adita, sorry to butcher your name like this. Chowdhury, good to see you. Thanks for joining. He says, hello, Chris. I do follow your videos on a regular basis. Thank you. Your thumbnails are funny and unique. Don't have a question as of now. Thanks. Well, thank you for commenting on the thumbnails. I make those myself. I've been making those since the beginning of time. When I first started out, I was making, like, using a stationary, like the same picture, which was standard in the SEO space. So I started making unique ones every single video, and I noticed that a lot of people have been following suit. So I'm really happy about that. It gives a little bit of a flavor to the whole SERP. You know, it used to just be green, right? Green and orange. That's all that the 2 colors that there were, and I'm sure you can figure out who that was. So I'm glad to see when I go and I do SEO searches now that there's a lot of variety and a lot of people making faces, right? I wonder where they got that from. Any case, let's keep moving on. Thomas the Train and more. I ordered this some SEO services. Okay, cool. Where'd you go? I ordered some services. I just saw this. So I thank you for ordering, but let me find you. Where are you? How long? Okay, so depending on what you ordered, Thomas, there should be a general turnaround time, TAT time that's listed. Most services are, it's 7 to 21 days. It just depends on what you ordered. So anywhere between, like, content's probably going to take longer than, say, citations. If you ordered citations, they're done pretty quick. Now, if you order on a Friday, I'm gonna put this into the SEO because my VAs, they don't work on Saturday and Sunday. They're not me, right? So we don't process anything on Saturday and Sunday. So if you ordered on Friday, chances are we didn't do anything until Monday, like nothing even started. All right. So just to let you know now, but I'm going to put it, how to use the site, how to contact, how to create a ticket. And then I'm also going to discuss general order times and how you can, right inside of an order, you're able to actually contact support. So, and I'm debating which service to go with, but I'm actually going to start having everything under one central hub so I can have everything distributed. So, like, just normal people saying hi to, hey, Chris, can you help me with this? Plus my clients, and then any of the SEO service stuff. I want everything to go to its appropriate bucket, and it's going to be filtered and seen by someone else before it gets to me. That way, I get everybody. Right? So I'm putting a system in place to start taking care of this, especially now that there's a lot of people. I'm dealing with a lot more people than I ever have. So it's good, but there has to be a system in place to be able to manage it, right? So just so you know. All right. So how important? Okay, so let's go back up here. I want to make sure that I don't miss anybody. All right, so to be fulfilled, so 7 to 21 days is the answer to that. Sign commanders, hey, what's your thoughts on your GMB from your homepage of website? What's your thoughts on linking your GMB from the homepage of a website? I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. I think that's a good thing. However, I would be mindful if you have multiple GMBs, right? So that's that. Moving down the list here, Spartan Pest Control says, do you have time for a 30-minute consult tonight? We had one booked but didn't end up having it done Friday or Monday. Questions are time sensitive. I sent out and talked to somebody this morning that had a time sensitive issue. Spartan, if you would like, text me right now. I think if you're the person I think you are, I was literally just talking with somebody over email. If you're the person I think you are, send me a text and I'll jump off of here and we can take care of the consultation. Or if you want, we could do it right here. If you want to keep it private, we'll jump off. If you want to do it here, we can do it here. It's up to you. But regardless, send me a text right now. If you want to do it private, we can hop off. Send me a text, 570-810-1080. Send me a text. We'll hop off and I'll send you a link. I'll send you the link on here. Okay? Yaniv says, how important are semantic keywords on page compared to actual keyword count? I'm trying to rank on page. So how important are semantic keywords on a page compared to the actual keyword count I'm trying to rank on page? They're both equally important. So semantic words being like, say, LSI and or the entities are equally important to having the right amount of the actual keyword. You see, there's two things going on. There's relevance, which is your LSI and your entities, and then there's the optimization level, which is the exact phrase, how many times, and where is that phrase located, right? So these are the two things. Oh, it's Jared. Jared, I missed you that day. I refunded you, dude. So you know what? For my mistake, again, send me an email. I'll talk to you for free. We'll take care of that. All right? I'll take care of you, man. It's the middle of the night here, bro. You know, so it's my mistake. Send me a text message and I'll hop off and we'll jump on, or we could do it live right now. And I already refunded you because I missed you that day. So, there's that. Do you have time for a, yeah, I'll finish these questions up, all right? So, are you going to be offering verification training anytime soon? Joe, to be honest with you, probably not. I don't like, it's the worst kind of training to offer. It's time, people have to follow the steps very closely. And when you have trouble, it messes up my processors, because you get 20 people and the people that want to know this are not on the up and up like you and me, right? So if you personally want to do it one-on-one, you know, I'll offer it to you, Joe, because I've seen you multiple times, but I'm not going to offer it to the quote unquote masses again. I'm not doing that anymore. I don't like the quality of person that comes through the door. Not everybody, but it's a different type of person that wants to learn this. Not everybody, but it has given me the most headache out of all the trainings I've ever done. You know what I mean? But if you really are serious about learning, send me a text right now. I'll teach you tonight, if you want. So 570-810-1080. All right. What's the best spinner at the moment? I need it for 20 sites. I think I'd probably go with Phrase. I think I'd probably go with Phrase. Probably Phrase, Clever Spinner. I think Word AI is pretty good. Any one of those is probably fine. Probably Phrase I'd probably go with. Something like that, Word AI. I think those are more than fine. Clever Spinner's pretty good. So Justin says, is PX tender enough? Is PX tender enough? I'm not sure what you mean by this for... Oh, is IP extender enough for a PBN? I don't use IP extender. And, let me see what that is. IP extender. HDMI over IP, an IP extender. I'm not really sure what that is, my friend. So, unfortunately, I'm not really sure. Craig, how's it? Hey, my good friend Craig, what's up, bro? Good to see you. Diego, Happy New Year's, Chris. Diego, I really hope that you're not the Diego that I think you are. But if you're not, it's great to see you, my friend. Either way, it's good to see you. You're a funny kind of guy. You're a funny guy, buddy. You're a funny guy. Next says, "Hey, Chris." And next, good to see you. Thank you for spending some time with me. Hey, Chris, I live in a small city, so the SEO keyword tools I use don't have accurate traffic data for it. I'm wondering if you have any tips on local SEO opportunities that work regardless of location. So, if for local, a lot of times what you're going to find is when you set up your initial website, okay, homepage, service pages, location pages, you know what services you offer, you know what locations you offer, and you know what location service pages you need to have, right? So by simply creating this site that you're going to need these pages anyway, what you're going to find is you're going to start getting a lot of impression share where you can see inside of search analytics, Google Analytics, and also your search console. You're going to be getting a lot of analytics, a lot of impression share for a lot of keywords that you're like, wow, like my website's a decking company. That's what I'm optimized for. But I keep getting deck installation impressions and clicks. Maybe I should have a deck installation page, right? I'm just using that as an example. So what I'm getting at is create the site that and the pages that you know you're going to need. And then by utilizing analytics and search console, you're going to be able to do a form of gap analysis that will lead you to a very, they might be low impression. They might be low volume, like when looking in tools, but these are the keywords that Google thinks your site's about. So by building out those pages, you'll find really good success. And you should be doing this anyway. So I think if you're just starting out, I think that would probably be one of the better ways of going about it. Build out the pages you know you need, and then watch your analytics, like what's Google showing you for. Build out those pages or add those to relevant pages that make sense. If it doesn't deserve its own page, then add it to the pages that are getting that impression. And then just by doing that, you'll start ranking very well for those keywords. Also, too, like Google will give you suggestion words, right? So, people also ask. So by running those phrases or keywords inside those phrases and figuring out where the traffic volume is, this is also really good supporting content ideas. You don't want to go to related search terms. Those are whole other pages and whole other topics. But if I'm searching for a primary keyword and I'm getting people also ask, these are really good suggestions that we can start building out supporting content for. All right, so hopefully that helps you out. Craig, again, good to see you. Diego, so if you had 10 to 15 sites, and Diego, it's great to see you. So if you had 10 to 15 sites for your own mini network on the same server with Cloudflare, would you still want each site on a different IP? So Cloudflare...
So if you had 10 to 15 sites for your own mini network on the same...
It's reading to me. I don't know if you guys heard that or not, but it was pretty cool. I have that installed because when I'm reading blogs and stuff, I just turn it on and I set it. So in any case, 10 to 15 sites if I'm using Cloudflare when I want to use a different IP. So I know guys that have very large networks that use Cloudflare and still host and have the IP. So much like when you're using a proxy service, unless it's elite, right? I'm just using this as an example. I'm not saying it's the same thing. The proxy or the main IP still leaks, right? In my humble opinion, yes, I still think it's important to host and have its own IP address. Yes, I do, for sure. And in the country that we want to rank in. So that's up to you. Can you get away with doing it that way, how you're mentioning? Definitely you could. But is it optimal? Probably not. All right. So I don't have any tests to back that up, but I'm 100% sure. Just Perfect Home Services, Carpet Cleaning, and Pest. My mouth is getting dry. Let me. So Just Perfect. Great to see it. Good to have you on. Thanks for your question. And have you used Agency Assassin? So yes and no. We're testing that as we speak. I have about 3 people that are utilizing it and testing it currently. And it's a little early to speak on that, but yes, we are playing around with it. So Just Perfect Home Services says, I've used it for a couple weeks, but not amazing results. So you said that, right? Not me. But that's kind of what we're seeing. I'm just agreeing, right? But it's still too early for me to really know. But generally, especially with traffic and click-through and these types of metrics, when we're trying to manipulate them, you're usually going to see, like, in that first 10-day span, you can really know if what you're doing is effective or not. Google responds to clicks and traffic at a much rapider rate than, say, backlinks. There's no question. And the results fall just as quick. We ran a test previously with not Agency Assassin, but another bot like CTR Booster. I also tried out Epic, Traffic Bot Pro 2, and we'll see a nice jump for a very temporary time. But as soon as you turn that traffic and clicks off, right back down. Generally lower than when you started. So be cautious, be consistent, and I think you'll have pretty good results over time. And don't go for keyword, go branded. Go for generic stuff and send it through something that you control. If you create, my favorite personally is create, when you have your press releases, you have a press release or you have a high quality, maybe profile link, say like that ink profile. I share that with everybody. Something like that, where you create a very high authoritative link. When you do a search for your brand or related keywords, this URL shows up on most of the SERPs, even if it's page 3 or 4. And then send the traffic through there to your site and then back off to another authority site. That's the best way to do it, in my opinion. Everything that I've seen, everything that I've tested, that's the way to go. You will see much better results. So try it out, and don't jump the gun yet. I'm still the verdict is still out, right? So Deraman Kidney says one of our 2 GMB profiles was suspended. I think it was suspended because the address is a virtual office. Do you think we can get it reconsidered without changing address? It's an e-com business. 90% of GMBs that get suspended are because somebody told on you, right? A very small portion of them are found by automated systems. So with that being said, if it's just suspended, I would go through and submit the form and just reprocess it as if it is a real business, regardless. Unless they're triggering for like a recording, like the recording verification or a postcard re-verification, I would just resubmit it and see, like, reconsider it, resend it, run it back through. I think you'll be positively surprised at the outcome. I think you'll get it back. Try to reinstate it. It's very easy. and it's an automated system. It's a 50-50 if it'll just go through. Usually it'll just go right back through. So try it out. All right, so we're going to get through these last questions here, and then I'm going to hop off and talk to this gentleman here at Spartan Pest. You just skipped my question. Sorry. All right, so hey, Chris, the MultiPin Google Maps, do they go into the website? I would look a bit crazy with hundreds of pins. So that service, like you find this on, say, like Fiverr and these Upwork gigs where they're creating map citations. So they're my maps and they're creating multiple pins on a map. So if you want to go in and create a my map that has 1 or 2 pins, it's going to, you know, them going out and creating 40,000 pins has no more effect than if you just create a my map and have 1 or 2 pins, right? I think that instead of utilizing that whole system, what's more important is follow what Google's showing on their actual business.google website. And what they utilize is they utilize a directional map and a directional link, right? So it'll say get directions and it takes you to the map. Embed that map, you know, from city center to the actual business, right? Because if you take a look at the business.google site, when they just issue it for you, they're giving you a template, a blueprint. Also, if you go take a look at Google's websites, they have blogs. Google has their own assets. They give us the blueprint. They show us like, okay, this has a heading. They have a internal link structure where they're chaptering it out. They have the footer links. Like they just give it to us. So follow what Google is doing and follow what's on the Google business site. And I think you'll be setting yourself up for success. All right. So take a look at those assets. Take a look at what Google's actually doing on their own properties. Take a look at the business.google site. Like see where are they linking? What links do they have? What kind of embeds do they have? Take a look at that. That'll give you your answer. So ever played with real estate niche? Any tricks? So real estate's relatively tricky. Have I played with it? Yes. Like we buy homes, sell homes fast, these types of niches, yes. Even real estate agents and brokers. I've had numerous clients in this niche. In my opinion, unless you can get I'll say this. A big tip is with real estate, the proximity that the listing is way smaller than, say, a plumber. So in my opinion, the best tip for you is how many addresses can you get verified, and make sure you have corresponding pages or subdomains for those locations. So that's my biggest tip. Your proximity is really small when we're dealing with a real estate agent. Very small. They're super weird. They gift that particular your Century 21s and stuff like that. All right. So that's my biggest tip. All right. IPC panel tool. I think that's like a multi-login type deal. That might be good for management, but again, I generally get reseller accounts that have IPv4 IPs for each one. So that's what we do. And that's what I recommend because that's what I do. So I'm gonna cut this because I have a call now. But I will take care of the rest of these. Multiple login Google Maps for a single business. Do maps go into website and look weird? Okay, so I answered that. KP, so far my experience, YouTube video property gets leads, website second place. Okay, he's answering him. Next, thank you so much. Makes perfect sense. It's my pleasure. Yaniv says, sorry to bombard you with all these questions. How many location pages would you link to from each managed PBN in your with how many location pages would you link to from each managed PBN within the network? So if the sites are linking out to another site, that's fine. but we need to make sure that those PBN links, most people are trying to maximize the power of their small little network. So if you want to extract power and send links to those pages, that's fine. But I wouldn't go linking these sites together. So don't link the PBNs together. You can link out to the same site as long as they're on different IPs, but keep these separately linked. All right. So you can link out from all of them, but I wouldn't on each of those sites, on your PBN sites, don't link out to all of them on the same page. Make a dedicated page per website. So say I have a homepage that's a general blog, that's your PBN site, and then you have a things to do page for, say, Austin, Texas. Then you have a things to do page for, say, Houston, Texas. You have those pages, link out from that page to that page and from this page to that page. Don't just do things to do and then link to all 5 of your, you get what I'm saying? Like, spread that out. Don't do it all on the same page, because Google ranks pages, not sites. So you could link to all your pages from all of these, but not on the same page, and don't link these together, all your PBN sites. So hopefully that helps you. KP says, trying to rank for keywords like real estate. Some big players like Realtor dominate the rankings, but there are some crumbs to pick up in the long tails. So it sounds to me like it's going to be a mass page type play, an Mentorprise or an equivalent to Mentorprise, and getting all of those long tails out there, get them indexed, get some links to these top level pages, and see what crumbs you can pick up. So that's probably what I would do there. Wondering if mass page tool would be suitable. So yes, exactly. I didn't even read that. So yes, I do. I outrank big players with some good content and guest posts. Yep, that's definitely could happen. That's definitely a feasible task. What's the deal with indexing lately? Even Omega is down. So yep, that's absolutely correct. That's what happens. I have 7 pages, but all of them have content. So there you go. Good evening, Chris Palmer Sr. Diego, you were thinking of. I don't think you are, Diego. Actually, you're not. So it's good to see you. Dr. Kaz says, hey, Mr. P, what's your go-to place to buy ordinary domains? My go-to place is GoDaddy. Get GoDaddy auctions or Pork Bun, or Google domains, any one of those 3. Neaton says, hey, Chris, how to reduce bounce rate? Is there any hack for it? So run a Hotjar campaign or heat mapping campaign and take a look how far your customers are going down. Also take a look at the top performing sites that have been around a while and see how wildly different your structuring is compared to the top performers. Because if a customer is looking to see something and when they get to your page, it's not what they're expecting, it's a bounce, right? So if you're getting above that, say, 50% range, you probably need to go in there and re-optimize. So take a look at the top competitors, see which elements they have on the page. Also run a like a clarity scan or something along these lines, like a heat map, and see where the users are going. Because also when you start picking up your traffic, bounce rate's going to increase. So if you're getting a lot of traffic, don't be super worried about a high bounce rate. This is generally pretty normal. But if you're getting low amounts of traffic but a high bounce rate, that tells me you probably are missing something. The page is not what they're expecting. So take a look at the top competitors, see what colors they're using, see what the pages are looking like, see what kind of elements they have, where's their contact form, are you using a pop-up? There's a million things I can think of, but see what they're doing that you're not. What is the customer expecting to see when they land on that page? Make sure they see it, all right? And also, too, take a look at your speed, right? And don't just run it through GT metrics. Like, go to webpagetest.org and run a mobile test. Like, is your site fast? So double check these things. Not saying it isn't. I'm just saying double check. All right. So the big cheese. What's the website builder I see you use Duda? I do, but I was gifted that account. I do use Duda, and I do like Duda, but most of my sites that I actually build and retain are bootstrap sites on a VPS. So just saying. Right? I use Duda. I like Duda. I have some clients in on Duda, but when I'm running a lot of my own assets, it's a VPS, dedicated IP address, utilizing a Bootstrap theme. That's what I do. It's fast. They're lightning fast. You can make them very beautiful. So that's up to you, my friend. So I'm going to hop off. It's been more than a pleasure. I went a little bit longer than I wanted to. But that's okay. I'm here to help. Jared, if you're still on, we will meet up right now. We'll get together. Okay. And we'll take it from there. I'll try to get through the call relatively quickly, but everybody that came on tonight, the 13 people that are here, I want to thank you for taking the time. Thank you so much. It's been more than a pleasure. I'm glad that I'm able to help. If there's anything I could help you with, ask in the section below. I'll leave this video up. If you need any services, www.chrispalmerseo.com. You're interested in learning more or having more consultations kind of like this, go to www.seomastermind.org. Or if you want consultation, check me out on any of those sites. You can sign up for consultation. If you need services, I could help you. If you want to learn more, I can help you. If there's anything I could help you with, I'm happy to help. So thank you so much for joining me tonight. Thank you for your time. Thank you. It's been an absolute pleasure. I'm about to meet my good friend here, Jared, for a consultation. And I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you all so much. Many blessings. I'll see you in the next. Bye-bye.